And Shalom, Lekem, Kal Yashara'al. How's your peace, Israel? Welcome back to another video. And we're dealing with the topic at hand, which is the role of the priests and sacrifice. And we're going to pick up in the book of Leviticus, chapter 16, verses 1 to 34. And it reads on this wise. The Lord spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron who died when they approached the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell your brother Aaron that he is not to come whenever he chooses into the most holy place behind the curtain in front of the atonement cover on the ark, or else he will die. For I will appear in a cloud over the atonement cover. This is how Aaron is to enter the most holy place. He must first bring a young bull for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. He is to put on the sacred linen tunic with linen undergarments next to his body. He is to tie the linen sash around him and put on the linen turban. These are sacred garments, so he must bathe himself with water before he puts them on. From the Israelite community, he is to take 2 male goats for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. Aaron is to offer the bull for his own sin offering to make atonement for himself and his household. Then he is to take the 2 goats and present them before the Lord at the entrance to the tent of the meeting. He is to cast lots for the 2 goats, one lot for the Lord and the other for the scapegoat. Aaron shall bring the goat whose lot falls to the Lord and sacrifice it for a sin offering. But the goat chosen by lot as the scapegoat shall be presented alive before the Lord to be used for making atonement by sending it into the wilderness as a scapegoat. Aaron shall bring the bull for his own sin offering to make atonement for himself and his household, and he is to slaughter the bull for his own sin offering. He is to take a censer full of burning coals from the altar before the Lord, and 2 handfuls of finely ground fragrant incense, and take them behind the curtain. He is to put the incense on the fire before the Lord, and the smoke of the incense will conceal the atonement cover above the tablets of the covenant law, so that he will not die. He is to take some of the bull's blood and with his finger sprinkle it on the front of the atonement cover. Then he shall sprinkle some of it with his finger 7 times before the atonement cover. He shall then slaughter the goat for the sin offering for the people, and take its blood behind the curtain, and do with it as he did with the bull's blood. He shall sprinkle it on the atonement cover and in front of it. In this way he will make atonement for the most holy place because of the uncleanliness and rebellion of the Israelites. Whatever their sin have been, he is to do the same for the tent of the meeting, which among them in the midst of their uncleanness. No one is to be in the tent of the meeting from the time Aaron goes in to make atonement in the most holy place until he comes out, having made atonement for himself, his household, and the whole community of Israel. Then he shall come out to the altar that is before the Lord and make atonement for it. He shall take some of the bull's blood and some of the goat's blood and put it on all the horns of the altar. He shall sprinkle some of the blood on it with his finger 7 times to cleanse it and to consecrate it from the uncleanliness of the Israelites. When Aaron has finished making atonement for the most holy place, the tent of the meeting and the altar, he shall bring forward the live goat. He is to lay both hands on the head of the live goat and confess over it all the wickedness and rebellion of the Israelites, all their sins, and put them on the goat's head. He shall send the goat away into the wilderness in the care of someone appointed for the task. The goat will carry on itself all their sins to a remote place, and the man shall release it in the wilderness. Then Aaron's to go into the tent of the meeting and take off the linen garments he put on before he entered the most holy place, and he is to leave them there. He shall bathe himself with the water in the sanctuary area, and put it on his regular garments. Then he shall come out and sacrifice the burnt offering for himself and the burnt offering for the people, to make atonement for himself and for the people. He shall also burn the fat of the sin offering on the altar. The man who releases the goat as a scapegoat must wash his clothes and bathe himself with water. Afterwards he may come into the camp. The bull and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought into the most holy place to make atonement, must be taken outside the camp. Their hides, flesh, and intestines are to be burned up. The man who burns them must wash his clothes and bathe himself with water. Afterwards he may come up into the camp. This is to be a lasting ordinance for you. On the 10th day of the 7th month you must deny yourselves, and not do any work, whether native born or a foreigner resided among you. Because of this day atonement will be made for you, to cleanse you. Then before the Lord you will be clean from all your sins. Okay, so that was the Day of Atonement and the role of the high priest in making sacrifices. All right, we're going to go into the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verses 1 to 7. And it reads on this wise. The Lord said to Aaron, "You, your sons, and your family are to bear the responsibility for offenses connected with the sanctuary, and you and your sons alone are to bear the responsibility for offenses connected with the priesthood. Bring your fellow Levites from your ancestral tribe to join you and assist you when you and your sons minister before the tent of the covenant law. They are to be responsible to you and are to perform all the duties of the tent, but they must not go near the furnishings of the sanctuary or the altar. Otherwise both they and you will die. They are to join you and be responsible for the care of the tent of the meeting, all the work of the tent, and no one else may come near where you are. You are to be responsible for the care of the sanctuary and the altar, so that my wrath will not fall on the Israelites again. I myself have selected your fellow Levites from among the Israelites as a gift to you, dedicated to the Lord to do the work at the tent of the meeting. But only you and your sons may serve as priests in connection with everything at the altar and inside the curtain. I am giving you the service of the priesthood as a gift. Anyone else who comes near the sanctuary is to be put to death." Okay, that was the duties and the responsibilities of the priesthood. We're now going to look into the book of the Testament of Levi from the 12 Patriarchs, chapter 3, verses 4 to verses 7. Okay, and it reads on this wise. And in the highest of all and in the highest of all the dwelleth, and in the highest of all dwelleth the great glory, far above all holiness. In the heaven next to it are the archangels who minister and make propitiation to the Lord for all the sins of ignorance of the righteous, offering to the Lord a sweet smelling savour, a reasonable and bloodless offering. And in the heaven below, these are the angels who bear answer to the angels of the presence of the Lord. Okay, that was Levi's vision of the priestly role and the responsibilities of his descendants. Last couple of scriptures. We're going to enter the book of Jubilees, chapter 32, verses 3 to 10. And it reads on this wise. And in those days Rachel became pregnant with her son Benjamin, and Jacob counted his sons from him upwards. And Levi fell to the portion of the Lord, and his father clothed him in the garments of the priesthood, and filled his hands. And the 15th of his month he brought to the altar 14 oxen from among the cattle, 28 rams, and 49 sheep, and 7 lambs, and 21 kids of the goats as a burnt offering on the altar of sacrifice, well pleasing for a sweet savour before God. This was his offering in consequence of the vow which he had vowed, that he would give a tenth with their fruit offerings and their drink offerings. And when the fire had consumed it, he burnt incense on the fire over the fire, and for a thank offering 2 oxen and 4 rams and 4 sheep, 4 he goats and 2 sheep of a year old, and 2 kids of the goats. And thus he did daily for 7 days. And he and all his sons and his men were eating this with joy there during 7 days, and blessing and thanking the Lord, who had delivered him out of all his tribulation, and had given him his vow. And he tithed all the clean animals and made a burnt sacrifice. But the unclean animals he gave not to Levi his son. He gave him all the souls of the men. And Levi discharged the priestly office at Bethel before Jacob, his father in preference to his 10 brothers, and he was a priest there. And Jacob gave his vow, thus he tithed again the tithe to the Lord, and sanctified it, and it became holy unto him. And for this reason it is ordained on the heavenly tablets as a law for the tithing again, the tithe to eat before the Lord from year to year, in a place where it is chosen that his name shall dwell, and to this law there is no limit of days forever. Okay, that was the priestly role given to the descendants of Levi. Okay, now we're going to go into the book of First Enoch, chapter 89, verses 59 to verses 61. Okay, and it reads on this wise. And he called 70 shepherds and cast those sheep to them, that they might pasture them. And he spake to the shepherds and their companions, let each individual of you pasture the sheep henceforth, and everything that I shall command you, that that do ye, I will deliver them over unto you, duly numbered, and tell you which of them are to be destroyed, and them destroy ye. Sorry. And he gave over unto them those sheep. And he called another, and spake unto him, observe and mark everything that the shepherds will do to those sheep, for they will destroy more of them than I have commanded them. Okay, that was Enoch's vision of the priests and the sacrificial system in Israel. Okay, and we were dealing with the role of the priests and sacrifice. So I only hope the reader and listener to this word will be blessed by this. So may Yahweh bless you, may Yahweh keep you, may Yahweh cause his face to shine upon you, may Yahweh be gracious to you, may Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you, and may Yahweh grant you everlasting peace in Yahshua HaMashiach's name I pray. Selah.